Students at the Shield Flight School in Chicago, Illinois learned to operate their first flight simulators. July 1945. Elon Musk with his first car, a BMW 320i, 1995. The Saturn ride in the Gorky Park of Culture and Leisure, Moscow, 1978. Electric train after the ER-22OP1 crash test, 1970 USSR. Carnival in the Third Reich, Cologne, 1938. £9,000 of caribou and moose meat being delivered to Dawson City, Yukon grocers in 1900. Denver State Trooper Joe Hale pictured with the winners of a pie-eating contest in Colorado, May 13, 1954. At the United States Embassy in Moscow, 1958, after a demonstration against the American invasion of Lebanon. The wedding of 18-year-old Brigitte Bardot and the famous director Roger Vadim, 1952. Japanese diplomats gave Hitler a kimono during the 1936 Olympic Games in Germany. The crew of Apollo 12, the second crew to land and walk on the Moon, 1969. Mickey Mouse's first official visit to the USSR, 1980s. Egyptian Police Academy, 1906. Jerry Lewis eating chicken with Colonel Sanders, 1967. Jane Seymour, 1981. Three guys wearing three barrels as they gallivant through the countryside in 1910. Destroyed German FW-190 fighters at Jüterbog airfield near Berlin, 1945. Carving the eye on Mount Rushmore, 1930s. United Airlines flight attendants, 1930. Mr. Leclerc dressed as a harlequin or clown, 1860. Friedrich von Wolf, an Estonian student who dressed as a woman. Demonstration of chemical and physical processes on the street. Tashkent, Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, 1929. Marine soldier being blanket bounced, 1945. Bradford City Football Club Stadium on fire, England, 1985. At the Institute of Thermophysics of the Siberian branch of the USSR Academy of Sciences, 1979, Novosibirsk. Inventor Fred J. Snyder wearing a device to invert his vision and, unsurprisingly, having a difficult time adjusting to it. Churchill tanks of the 34th Armoured Brigade cross a temporary bridge at Roosendaal, Netherlands, October 30, 1944. Paris, France, Russian ballet dancer and choreographer Vaslav Nijinsky. Moki Girls, 1879. If you're caught jaywalking by the police, you'll have to stand in the box of shame for 30 minutes. South Korea in the 1970s. Debbie Harry signing autographs in 1989. A car buried under a thick layer of snow during a heavy snowfall in Boston, 1935. A B-24 Liberator shot down by R-4M rockets fired from a German Mi-262 jet fighter, 1945. A girl poses on a 1969 Fiat Abarth 2000 Scorpione. International Hot Air Balloon Festival 1990, Leningrad. Three Indian men swing a hanging fan called a panka inside a house, 1900s, British India. Outdoor typewriter typing competition, 1932. A happy little girl pushing a carriage filled with kittens, Vondelpark, Amsterdam, 1956. Baseball players Bob Uecker and Bob Gibson holding hands in their 1964 St. Louis Cardinals team photo. They both got fined and the team had to later retake the picture. A Washington state resident sweeps ash from a sidewalk after the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. Queen Elizabeth and the Terracotta Army, China, 1986. Charming Ornella Muti, 1981. Hitler looking at a model of Linz in the Reich Chancellery basement in Berlin, February 9, 1945. Alfred Hitchcock with all his films, 1977. Cadillac-based ambulance, New York City, 1942. Daily rations for the crew of a British aircraft carrier, 1956. Rita Hayworth, 1941. Electrocution for body contouring. Chicago, United States, 1950. Vladimir Putin and his wife Lyudmila visited India on a tourist trip in 1998. Japanese-American family, Saitama, Japan, 1947. Belle Starr, also known as Myra Maybelle Shirley, bandit queen of the Wild West, associated with the James Younger Gang in the Oklahoma Territory, 1870. The Beatles wear smog masks before their concert at the Ardwick Theatre, Manchester, England, December 7, 1965. KM Caspian Sea Monster Ekranoplan. It was an experimental ground effect vehicle developed in the Soviet Union in the 1960s. Transportation of Rakita ships to the Soviet Union in 1969. Supermodel Nikki Taylor, 1991. Winter in New York, 1960. Elizabeth Taylor in London, 1948. Kwakiutl Chief, circa 1914. Fiery Can-Can Dance, 1952. During the Second World War, the Orwitz family, a group of 7 dwarfs all related, were kept prisoners in Auschwitz concentration camp, 1944. United States students with fellow students' underwear, 1952, United States. Hypnotized woman suspended between two chairs. A farmer called a piglet who tried to push other piglets away from the feeding trough and take all the food for himself, Hitler, and isolated him. London, 1942. The 1988 People magazine photo shoot that united all the slasher icons. Puppeteer and his not terrifying at all puppet that definitely will not watch you sleep tonight. Weatherproof baby stroller, 1913. Fitness parade in London, 1930. Gunnar Kassen, a Norwegian musher, and his lead dog Balto, who delivered diphtheria antitoxin to Nome, Alaska, saving the city from an epidemic, 1925. Ronald Reagan is presented with the hatchet, 1983, Baltimore. The mummified body of a Swedish brownie, or hustomte, dated 1866. Men wash themselves with snow in -50-degree weather at the Pole of Cold in Oymyakon, USSR, 1970. Games with a certain amount of imagination, 1930. Lviv residents greet a convoy of German troops on a city street June-July 1941. Austro-Hungarian armoured train in Zborov, Ukraine, Galicia, 1916. Escape. In 1910, the Great Flood of Paris took over the city. Caused primarily by heavy rainfall, it lasted 2 whole months, and 5 people died. Here is a rare photo from the flood, where we can see a man on his balcony. Burned Soviet fuel trucks in Afghanistan, 1985. Apollo 15 astronauts Jim Irwin and Dave Scott trained to operate the lunar roving vehicle in 1970. NASA's vision of the first Atlas space station, 1958. An American A-26B Invader bomber crashes after being hit by anti-aircraft fire over Valen, Germany, March 21, 1945. Tattooed couple in the 1930s. American tanks stand in front of Soviet tanks at a checkpoint in Berlin. 1961 Cold War. This is a picture of one of the last veterans of the American Civil War posing in front of a fighter jet, 1955. A priest conducts a service from a pulpit made of snow for Swiss military skiers. Switzerland, 1940. Drew Barrymore. Muhammad Ali and the Beatles, 1964. Hunter and native helpers wrestle with a large croc on the edge of the Zambezi River circa 1900. Rally in front of the government house for the abolition of Abkhaz autonomy, Tbilisi, April 9, 1989. Carrie Fisher Adie's. Meeting of mother and son in Chechen captivity, Chechen Republic, January 1995. Edvanda Ilsken, Moscow, 1970. The Lilliputian Wedding, Lavinia Warren and General Tom Thumb, 1860s. Ethiopians at the recently dismantled monument to Vladimir Lenin, May 23, 1991, Addis Ababa. Margaret Thatcher with a monkey, United Kingdom, 1985. Vladimir Zworykin with the first electronic television, United States, 1934. Compact bicycle model, United States, 1920s. Naomi Campbell, Mike Tyson and Don King, photographed by Bruce Weber, December 1989 for Vogue magazine. Christmas present, United States, 1948. The evacuation of a Tu-124 aircraft after its emergency splashdown on the Neva River in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, on August 21, 1963. (1905) Automobiles at the starting line for a race, Daytona Beach, Florida. Halloween Party in Los Angeles, 1957. One of the first gas mask training exercises in the United States Army, 1917. The liberation of Auschwitz, 1945. Steven Spielberg, 1989. Frida Kahlo in front of the unfinished mural of Communist Unity, New York, 1933. Young Princess Elizabeth walks her corgis in London's Hyde Park. Waitresses at a bar in Philadelphia, 1974. Uma Thurman for British Vogue, 1986. Revolutionaries demolish a monument to Stolypin at the current site of Maidan, Kiev, 1917. Elizabeth Taylor in Trafalgar Square. A woman at the entrance to the museum on the site of the former Auschwitz concentration camp, 1981. A typesetter at a publishing house, 1920. Demonstration of the Echoscophony Model 202 mechanical television circa 1936. Motorized submachine gun, Italian, Motomitragliatrice, Ansaldo MAS, Italy. The prototype was built in 1935. Polish-Latvian border, 1930s. USS Skate SN 578 became the first submarine to surface at the North Pole in March 1959. Seattle Police Department officers during a civil defense exercise, June 1942. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a look-alike doll on the set of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Sister Euphemia having an absolute blast on a rocket ship ride at Disneyland. This image from the Australian Antarctic expedition shows the research vessel Aurora covered in ice.